NATO leaders, they have agreed to significantly boost their defense spending, fulfilling a key demand from the US President Donald Trump. Despite earlier ambiguity from Trump, the allies, they were relieved when he recommitted to the fundamental principle of collective defense during a brief summit in the Netherlands. However, Trump also threatened to penalize Spain after its Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez indicated the country could not meet its NATO obligations while spending considerably less than the new 5% of GDP target.
In a very historic milestone this week, the NATO allies committed to dramatically increase their defense spending to that 5% of GDP, something that no one really thought possible. And they said, "You did it, sir, you did it." Well, I don't know if I did it, but I think I did. This will be known as the Hague defense commitment, which is pretty good, pretty appropriate.
Meanwhile, during the annual NATO summit in The Hague, US President also suggested that hostilities between Israel and Iran could perhaps soon restart, despite both the nations appearing tired and exhausted from recent conflict. Trump also revealed that United States and Iranian officials, they are slated to hold talks next week aiming to revive stalled dialogue and potentially lead to an agreement. And the NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte, likened US President Donald Trump to what he called daddy, who uses strong language to intervene in conflicts, referencing Trump's comments on the Israel-Iran conflict. Trump had compared the two countries to children fighting in a schoolyard, saying they fight like hell and can't be stopped until they've had their fight. Rutte's remark has sparked interest and debate, highlighting the unusual dynamic between the two leaders and the use of the word daddy. In fact, listen to what Donald Trump said when asked by a reporter whether he sees himself as the daddy of NATO allies.
They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easy to stop them.
And then daddy has to sometimes use strong language to
you have to use strong language. Every once in a while you have to use a certain word.
He called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
And my colleague Disha Bakchi joins us to get us more on this. Disha, a couple of very interesting comments made there by the US President. In fact, like always, he has been creating headlines, especially with the use of the word daddy. Take us through everything that transpired there.
So, of course, the key highlight of the summit now is the fact that all the NATO allies have agreed to increase their defense spending to 5%, almost double the existing target, which was 2%. And even most countries were struggling to meet that target. But now that target has been increased to 5%, which will also include a certain amount, which is about 2% on the actual defense spending on weapons and other such materials. But apart from that, the rest of the 3.5% will actually be used for infrastructure, for protecting cyber technology and other such things. But this is crucial given the fact that there's been an increase in conflicts across the globe. We have Russia and Ukraine war, of course, as well as the Israel-Hamas war. And now we also saw that brief, almost 2-week-long conflict between Israel and Iran. So that's what US President Donald Trump really used to justify pushing the NATO alliance to increase their defense spending. But apart from that, this summit was crucial for the American president, given the fact that he just recently reached that ceasefire between Israel and Iran, and it was essentially a victory leap for him. So even during the summit, he repeatedly emphasized on the fact that he was able to end the war. He even said that he's hinted at the fact that he's going to restart negotiations with Iran, but he's not necessarily looking at any sort of nuclear deal anymore, given the fact that as he has been saying all along, that he has completely wiped out Iran's nuclear program. But apart from that, very interesting comments also about Ukraine. He just met Ukrainian President Zelensky on the sidelines of the summit. So even there, he's now pushing, he's saying that I'm going to push Putin to end the war, and even has said that he's hinted at the fact that he might even give Patriot missiles to Ukraine, which is quite a change and a flip in stance, given the fact just months ago we saw US President Trump really pausing funds and pausing aid to Ukraine. So quite a few interesting headline-making comments made by Trump at NATO.